What's going on, guys? Back at you guys with another presentation. I want to tell you guys. I was just thinking to myself, it feels so good out here on this evening, so I felt the need to make another presentation. But shoot, it's another presentation, guys. I want to say this for the record. You know, far as women is concerned, when will women take accountability for choosing bums? When will women take accountability for choosing bums? I felt this would be a good topic to talk about right quick because, you know, women gonna always choose men that they like, guys. And I see so many women always making presentations talking about how they've been hurt and how their ex did them wrong and how they had all these bad things done to them in these relationships, marriages. And the one thing that goes through my mind every time I see these presentations about how women talk about how they've been done wrong by certain men that they've decided to give their life to, I'm always thinking to myself, like, you knew the dude was a bum. You knew the dude was no good, but you chose to get with the dude anyway. And I just think to myself, when will the day come where women will start taking accountability for their own actions, man? I know you guys probably wondering too, because I think about it myself, like, when will the day come where women will just stop always trying to play the victim in these situations? Because women, they always like to play the victim in situations. They always try to blame the man when things don't go right, when things don't work out for them in these marriages, relationships that they get in. Women always want to blame other people, and they never want to take accountability for their own bad choices when it comes to choosing guys. One thing I don't like about women is when it comes to men, especially when it comes to male attractiveness, when it comes to men that women find attractive, this is one thing I don't like. Women have very unrealistic standards when it comes to men that they feel is attractive. Women want dudes that look like models. They want dudes that resemble models from fashion runway shows. Women have real unrealistic, they have very unrealistic views when it comes to men. When it comes to, I'll say, men that they feel is attractive, women have real unrealistic views. Their views are very unrealistic. And I just want to know, when will the day come where women will start to woman up and take accountability for their bad choices, man? Because all of this blaming men when marriages don't go right, all of this blaming men when you've been treated bad time and time again, it's got to stop. Like, when is responsibility for self gonna take place? That's what I want to know. When will women start to take a responsibility for their own actions? When will women start taking accountability for procreating with bums, having children with bums? And then when these so-called marriages, when these so-called relationships end up going left, when these marriages, relationships don't work out, you blame all men and say all men are no good and men are dogs and just men are bad people. But when are women gonna take accountability for procreating with bums? Because women need to take accountability for that. They really do. Because you can't keep devoting years of your life to a bum, to a dude that you know is no good, and then want to blame everybody for why things didn't work out. Well, you chose that bum. You was attracted to that bum. And there just comes a point where a person has to come to some self-realization. There comes a point where you have to practice self-realization. You got to realize certain things within yourself, and I just want to know, when will the day come where women will start taking accountability for these things? Because you choose dudes that you know are bums. You choose dudes that you know are no good. You choose dudes who are some of the worst type of people known to man, all because you find them to be attractive or whatever. But when is responsibility going to take place, though? When are women going to woman up and start taking responsibility for choosing the worst type of dudes? That's what I want to know. When is the responsibility going to kick in? When are women going to start taking responsibility for choosing no good men? Because women need to woman up and start. It's time to stop playing the blame game. It's time out for that. It's 2025. When are women gonna stop blaming men for their own bad choices? And when are women just gonna come out and be honest and just admit, all I care about when it comes to a man is what he look like? The dude could be unemployed, he could be broke, he could have nothing going for him long as he look good. When are women gonna come out, woman up, and just admit, all I care about when it comes to men is what they look like? When are women gonna be honest about this stuff? When are women gonna take accountability for procreating with bums? When are they gonna do this? Because a lot of guys are getting tired of seeing women always complaining about these relationships that are toxic and relationships and marriages that are not working out. You chose to be with that man. You chose to lay up and have kids with that man. So if that's the man that you chose to date, if that's the man you chose to marry and have kids with, you need to be woman enough to admit your flaws. And that's something that women cannot do. They cannot woman up and admit that, you know what, I'm choosing the worst type of men. That's one thing they can't do. That's one thing women cannot do. Women will never admit, you know what, I'm choosing the worst type of guys. I'm choosing to procreate with bums. So I need to woman up and I need to take accountability for my own bad choices. But see, women can't do that. They can't woman up and have humility and humble themselves enough to admit that they're choosing the wrong type of men. You can't blame the world when you keep procreating with bums. Because these are the men that you want to be with, and these are the men that you want to marry. You can't keep making bad choices. Making bad choices and then want to say it's men's fault, when you women are choosing the men that you want to be with. So I'm just ready for the day, and I know a lot of other guys are ready for it as well. I'm ready for the day when women will start to humble themselves and woman up and just admit that, you know what, I'm choosing dudes based on looks. I don't care about substance when it comes to men. I'm just choosing men based on what they look like. I don't care if the dude is a terrible person. I don't care if the dude is a narcissistic demon from the gates of Hades, long as he looks good. Women, you can keep blaming men, but at some point, some accountability got to take place. When you got to start taking responsibility for your life as a woman. You can't keep choosing the worst type of dudes and then want to blame everybody else. I mean, these women are willingly procreating with bums. They're willingly procreating with bums, but then want to blame everybody else for why things ain't working out for them. You can't do that. You can't willingly choose a bum, willingly choose a dude that you know is no good, but then, it's everybody else's fault to why things are not going right in your life. It's your fault, it's everybody else's fault. It's never your fault. I mean, at some point, women have got to start just being real and just admit, I can't blame nobody else for my bad life because I chose to have kids by certain guys. I chose to be in toxic relationships with certain dudes. It's coming a time where women just got to be real. That's why I say, ladies, it's time to just come clean and just admit it. Ladies, it's time to admit that you've been procreating with bums. It's time to admit that. It's time to admit that. It's 2025. These years are going on, and it's time to start taking some kind of accountability for bad choices. That's one thing that women don't like, is accountability. Women will make all the excuses in the world for why they chose to be in a toxic relationship. They'll make all the excuses in the world to why they chose to marry a man that they know is no good. I'm just waiting for the day when women will start to admit that I choose men just strictly based on appearance. That's all I care about. That's what I'm waiting for. That is what I'm waiting for. And that's what a lot of other guys are waiting for too. When women will come out and just admit, I'm choosing men based on what they look like. I don't care about nothing else. I don't care if the dude is employed. I don't care if the dude is intelligent. Long as he looks good and he can bang me real good and make me have multiple O's. I'ma just speak in code. Don't want to get explicit here. But you know what I'm talking about, multiple O's. But I'm just this is just something for you guys to marinate on. I'm gonna go ahead and end this presentation. When will women admit that they're procreating with bums? Because it's 2025. It's time for women to just admit, I'm procreating with bums. And it's time to take accountability for that. And it's time to stop blaming everyone else for your downfall and for why things are not looking up for you. It's 2025. Ladies, it's time to just admit it. But you guys have a good evening. Happy Thursday.